Hey, family, it's Michael Baisden. First of all, shout out to all the federal employees out there, especially those that have been treated horrible. And those of you all who know federal employees, which they're all around the country, it's really amazing that they're being treated like foreign enemies and not like fellow Americans. But we'll get into that tomorrow. I just wanted to come on tonight now that I've plugged everything back up again. I was in the process of moving. That's been delayed because of some other issues. So I'm going to leave this set up until I'm certain that I'm moving. And I just wanted to remind you all, I will be here tomorrow. We'll have some time to put together guests, to have some of you all on as guests. First thing tomorrow morning, you'll get some instructions on where to go, how to set your studio up. You'll get some virtual backgrounds to use so it's consistent with the Basin at the Dark brand. And we're going to start having conversations because we got a five-alarm fire going on. I'm not very good at staying still. And I'll get into this more tomorrow. But I think it's very important for you all to understand, those of you all who don't know, I'm not just some guy who talks about relationships. That's not who I am. And that's not who many of you are either. You're not just doctors and nurses and firemen and policemen. You're activists in the true sense. And what I mean by that is you don't have to consider yourself a leader. But the one thing that you have to be is response able. That term is used a lot, being responsible. We need more people to be responsible. Well, being able to respond means being able. And so that's all I've ever considered myself. When it was the Trayvon Martin situation, and shout out to his family. We just passed his anniversary. I'm sorry I was in transition and moving and doing all the rest of this stuff. I really wanted to do a show about that. But I responded. And so did you. When Gina 6 happened, when we went down to Gina, Louisiana to help those young men, that was just us being response able, right? I mean, that's what we do. We respond. Same thing with my 1 Million Mentors tour that took me 2 years around the country. And we recruited a record number of mentors. When I say we, I mean fraternities, sororities, churches, 100 Black men. I mean, just everyone was involved. And that's what we do when we respond. So we're very good at this. And so, just like in the civil rights days, you have to have a place to meet. And I know there's other people having podcasts, and that's great. But this is going to be our church. This is going to be our meeting space to make sure that every week we're checking in on each other to see how we're doing, because I don't know how long they're going to allow me to have this reach on social media. Maybe, we're safer here on YouTube, because I will be going to YouTube. I've already joined Blue Sky. I have a audio channel on Facebook as well. So, and also, please don't forget to go to minglecity.com. I'll put those links up as soon as I'm done. Minglecity.com. And join the newsletters for the travel club. Is for everybody now. So we have a place to connect in cases of emergency, which is exactly what we have. Did you all see the way they ambushed President Zelensky of Ukraine? It was one of the most devastating things, or shocking things. I guess it's kind of hard to be shocked at this point, right? It was one of the most embarrassing things as American I've ever seen. So all my Ukrainian brothers and sisters, and those of you all overseas, because we literally have 180 million people who view this page. So they're going to see it. Even though they're not commenting, they're here. So I don't want you all to feel powerless. We have an audience. So I want you all to join me tomorrow. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, I'm going to have very detailed information about how you can join the conversation. And the show is called F Trump. It's not meant to be rude. It's just meant to get your attention, right? Because we're not going to lower ourselves, but we're also not going to be so cordial and polite either, because we have to start, look, our leadership, I'm not going to say they're failing us, but they're not representing our emotions right now, at least not all of them. And so I can't think of many times in history that a politician was the one who changed things. It came from the people, and we are the people. And it didn't necessarily come from older people. So to all my young people out there, if you know young leaders, I need them on the show tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Like I said, tomorrow morning, starting at 7 a.m., I'll start giving out information on how you can let me know if you want to be on the show. I'll check in, I'll show you where to go, and I'll vet you because I can't have you on the show with nonsense. This is serious business. And I want to talk to some federal workers. That I really want to hear your voices tomorrow. And I also want to hear from those of y'all who are just following the news just like me, right? I mean, I'm into the news. Yes, I read the news. I do all that. I'm just like a normal citizen who is aware of what's going on or trying to be informed. So we're going to have that conversation person to person. But I really want to talk to the federal workers, and I want to talk to the young leaders. I want to talk to young voices. You think about how old Martin was and how old Malcolm was and H. Rack Brown, Stokely Carmichael, Angela Davis, right? These are all young people, college students in many cases. We need to give those people a platform and a voice, and this is the place for you. So stand by tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll start giving you all details. I might even pop on a few times a day tomorrow, leading up to the show tomorrow night, so we can make sure we get everybody on and just have a conversation, have our church, have our movement, have our voices. Because we can't stand still and we can't be silent any longer. Not that I was silent, because I was commenting and posting the news stories and videos all the time, but it's time for us to start speaking to each other. It's time for us to start talking, and then it's time for us to start moving. Today, like many of you all, I didn't shop at all today. I honored the no shopping day, and we're going to need this for a lot longer. We're going to need boycotts. We're going to need every tool in the toolbox, because this has gotten real. I don't think anybody expected to be this bad this fast. And I certainly didn't expect this many people, Republicans, to sit back and just watch it happen. What's in it for them? And what's in it for Trump kissing Putin's butt? And the way J.D. Vance went at this man today, again, anybody who knows anyone who is Ukrainian, tell them we are behind them 100%. This is not our president. This is not representing our values. This is not who we are. And I need you to know that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night and probably throughout the day tomorrow to check in and detail starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow about how to be a guest. If you just want to come on and tell me how you feel, I'll give you a backdrop, use your blue screen, and then we're going to talk. We're going to talk as long as we need to tomorrow so we can get it all out. Federal employees or federal workers, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. All right, family. Don't forget, be response-able. That's all it takes. I'm not asking you to lead. I'm asking you to respond. Damn. This is as urgent as it's going to get. And we better act while we can act. I'm going to tell you about a scene before I get off today. It's a scene in a movie I never forgot. It was in the movie Braveheart. And it was a scene when they first had the battle. And the men were asked whether or not they would trade the day that they had an opportunity to fight to the day that they would one day die in their beds years later after the British caught up with them in this particular case. And they thought about it. And that's what they rallied behind. We have a chance to fight today, because tomorrow is going to be much harder and much uglier if we don't get our together. Now, to all the men out there, and I have to put this challenge out there, we always are talking about men want to lead. Women are not giving men the opportunity to lead. Here it is. Here's our chance. Because we know what women are going to do. Trust me, these sororities, and probably fraternities too, brothers, are already organized and they're already working. You think people are being still watching this happen? There are too many people who understand what this is about. So fellas, we talk about leading. This is our moment right here. I did it with Trayvon Martin. I did it with Gina Six. I did it with recruiting mentors, a record number all around this country. Took me 2 years on a bus to do that. That's who I am. That's just how I respond. It's just the way I'm made. And I know that's the way you're made too. We always talk about our ancestors. Oh, our ancestors, I would have. Okay. Here we are. Cometh the time, cometh the man or woman. Times like this create people, it creates leaders, it creates resistance. And I'm telling you, man, we better wake up today because every single day we think, just like today, I have to be honest with you. I was foolish enough to believe I would have a day off, get some exercise, get some rest. This man is not going to give us a day off. And I hear you all on my page all the time talking about my peace. Got to have my peace. You know, I got to defend my peace. This man is taking away our peace and will take away your children's future. And I know you know it's true. You think you're just going to hide back in the cut and not be affected by this? And those police, the bad ones, start beating on your head and start getting pardoned. That could happen. It's happening. These police are moving, the bad ones, shout out to the good cops, moving around from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, different police stations around the country. After they get through doing bad in one, they go on to the next one. Cometh the time, cometh the man or woman. Where are my young leaders at? I hope to see you on the show tomorrow night. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, you'll start getting direction. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Baisden After Dark. Take a deep breath. We can either waste our time and energy feeling bad about it or doing something about it. I've never been a talker. I've always been able to respond. What about you? See you tomorrow night, family. I'm out.